Hey, everybody, listen, things happen, life happens, I get it. But the extent of the damages here with what's going on in California, I'm not going to pretend. I was surprised. Why is he been in that position way before this even happened, especially with the homeless crisis? Don't forget, in the homeless crisis, it's been reported that guess what, y'all? Oh my gosh. Biz and boy, billions of dollars supposed to help the homeless. Looks like the money was lost, can't account for it. How the hell is that? Billions of dollars, biz and boy, for the homeless. I don't believe you don't lose that kind of money. Can't account for. I think my opinion, not accusing anybody, but I think typically that would make me think that is it possible that the ones at the top will split the money? Billions of dollars for the homeless. So listen to this right here. This didn't have to be. California, you've had a 10-year head start. One more time, Jillian Michaels, because she lost her house in 2018. Listen to this. This what's happening. There's got to be accountability. I don't want to hear about we can help everybody. Yeah, after that, it's got to be some accountability. Listen to this, and I'm gonna show you the proof. They've been knowing about this problem. How the heck you give away fire equipment to Ukraine? What the heck? $500 billion of U.S. money dollars is not enough. What more do you want? I hope you're having a seat. So check out this, peeps.
In traffic, that's why you're seeing bulldozers moving through cars that have been left in the road like it's the walking dead, as people are running on foot from the
So keep in mind, people have lost everything. Rich, poor, doesn't matter. Have lost everything they work for. Lives just over. Listen to this. Oh my gosh.
fires. It's absolute madness. And I've seen that clip of that mother, and she says to the governor, "Will it be different next time?" He says, "It has to be. Next time." This just happened 4 months ago. All of northern Malibu just burned down 4 months ago. It happened in 2018 when I lost my house. And not only was it not different, PG&E, who was responsible for the fire that burned down my house with equipment that was over 100 years old, was not only not held accountable, he completely let them off the hook. And they
Why would you let them off the hook? I wonder if they gave any kind of, I'm just asking, donation, perhaps? 100-year-old infrastructure. You got to be kidding me. 100-year-old infrastructure. Wow. Nothing happened. No accountability. The rich are very insulated, very protected.
PG&E, who was responsible for the fire that burned down my house with equipment that was over 100 years old, was not only not held accountable, he completely let them off the hook, and they weren't forced to update the infrastructure. The fire hydrants are broken. The reservoirs ran dry. Well, guess what? In 2014, Californians voted on Proposition 1 to put billions toward building new reservoirs. Not one is complete 10 years later. Let's talk.
What is she talking about? Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got the receipts. Proposition 1, Water Quality, Supply, and Infrastructure. Improvement Act of 2014. At today's date is January the 12th, 2025. Really now? So they approved that. It's obviously passed. It says basically they're going to redirect, let's see, the state could sell $7.1 billion in additional general obligation bonds, as well as redirect $425 million in unsold general obligation bonds that were previously approved by voters to resource related uses to fund various water related programs. So I'm going to skip on down. I'll read the whole thing. I'll put the link in. Why would they need to fund various water-related programs? I'm going to go and skip on down. Might be a reason, guys. Here it is. Here we go. You know why they might need to fund various water-related programs? It says what? Meeting the state's water needs. So this is to meet the state's water needs. Why is that? Because it says first, water is not always available where it is needed. water is not always available where it is needed. Gee, you mean like in the reservoir that was empty, dry as a powerhouse? You mean like with those broken fire hydrants? So they knew back then. It says, here's the background. Meeting the state's water needs. First, water is not always available where it is needed. Second, the amount of water available can change widely from year to year. And this is what? 2014. Again, what did she say?
The hook, and they weren't forced to update the infrastructure. The
PG&E.
fire hydrants are broken. The reservoirs ran dry.
Did you hear that? So this is nothing new. She already lost the house in 2018.
Was not only not held accountable, he completely let them off the hook, and they weren't forced to update the infrastructure. The fire hydrants are broken. The reservoirs ran dry. Well, guess what? In 2014, Californians voted on Proposition 1 to put billions toward building new reservoirs. Not one is complete 10 years later. Let's talk.
You need to be on a job. How many people have been laid off? Just us, regular people. This is 2014. So it sounds like, based on this here, Proposition 1, they knew back then the state was having a problem. It was widely known, based on this proposition, that that water isn't always where it needs to be. I don't know, like in the reservoir, like in the fire hydrant. You got to be kidding me. 2014. It's called Proposition 1, the Water Quality Supply and Infrastructure Improvement Act of 2014. And look what happened January of 2025. This didn't have to be, at least not as bad.
About forestry. I grew up in California. There were regular, controlled burns. You would get notices from the city that you had to do brush cleanup and your home was going to be inspected. This all stopped before Newsom, to be fair. But if we're going to, I'm going to go full-blown devil's advocate.
So that was before Newsom. Okay, who was in charge before then? See, you know how they're always checking the little people? Somebody needs to check the ones at the top. So she was saying this here about the Burn Act and notification, that was all before Newsom. What are the politicians doing besides whining and dining and getting paid? 2014. This, to me, it is absolutely ridiculous. But hold on, one more thing, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, conclude the video.
The kid on you. California is prone to fire. Bad Santa Ana winds. We know this. Let's go with global warming. Perfect. Since you know the place is a tinderbox, why are you not doing the work? Prepare.
No, but they're still getting voted in. Again, this didn't have to be, in my opinion. It's like somebody giving you a 10-year start.
God.
It's arid. It's dry.
You control
the
winds.
Exactly.
The anger in your voice is visceral. It's palpable. How widespread? Because I think there's still the shock and the grieving going on. How widespread is the anger at this point already?
I'm seeing many of my peers speaking out. You're seeing Dr. Drupinski rage on Dave Rubin. You're seeing Adam Carolla go crazy. Whitney Cummings is furious. She just posted something on X, and she was like, I was waiting for a fact check, and it has to do with the fact that California donated fire equipment to Ukraine in 2022.
So we got all this going on.
And I'm sorry, you have to laugh because it's so absolutely maddening.
And now look. And I just Googled to check who was the governor of California in 2014. It says Jerry Brown. Based on my Google information, just Google, I Googled who was California's governor in 2014, and it says Jerry Brown. So from Jerry Brown and on down, what's going on? What are the politicians doing? That state, so I just want to be clear in our reporting. We don't want to try to, I don't want to give any misinformation. And if, again, I'm just doing a commentary based on what I have here, feel free to make any corrections. So based on Proposition 1 and what she's saying, allegedly, nothing's been done. I guess it's just been sitting up. Where'd the money go for this? Because they didn't use it, based on her statement. So Jerry Brown was the governor in 2014 in California. You got to be kidding me. What good are the politicians besides smiling and dialing and getting some dollars?
Posted something on X, and she was like, I was waiting for a fact check, and it has to do with the fact that California donated fire equipment to Ukraine.
But yet we got reservoirs with no water. So this is obviously nothing new. The ball been dropped. And I guess the dropping of the ball just continues. Now we're going to... Can you imagine a homeless now in California? A separate video. I've gotten 2 calls. People are losing their their calmness. This is crazy. Imagine all you have is what's on you. Lives just ruined.
Palpable. How widespread?
Lives are just ruined. And to what? It is unbelievable.
Californians voted on Proposition 1 to put billions toward building new reservoirs. Not one is complete 10 years later.
So I guess you got a history of just dropping the ball. While they care about the people. Again, at that time, 2014, it doesn't indicate that Gavin Newsom was the governor. But if you notice, 2014, not one. Where's this money going? Listen, I keep telling y'all, call me one of those conspiracy people. I keep telling y'all all this money changing hands and going here and there. Don't forget, billions of dollars for the homeless. And I believe that's on the Newsom. The money's lost. The hell it is. How? Where they do that at? Billions of dollars? I'm not buying it. The politicians, what good? This is just crazy. So Proposition 1, what we didn't do yesterday, so what they didn't do yesterday, 2014, you got a whole 10 years to get this fixed up because you done passed the bill, Proposition 1, been voted on, passed. What they didn't do yesterday affects today. And that is why people have lost their lives, devastated. How do you think the poor already check the check gonna pull from this and don't have coverage? Middle class people. Rich folks have friends, trust me. Folks to be owed their homes to them. Rich folk people have friends and resources. This is just sure maddening.
Voted on Proposition 1 to put billions toward building new reservoirs. Not one is complete 10 years later. Let's talk about.
And again, here's Proposition 1, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a receipt. Again, why would they even need Proposition 1? Why? It says first, look, again, and this is a little background information. Why? Because first, water is not always available where it is needed. Like in the reservoir and like in the fire hydrants, huh? This is, oh my gosh. That's why. And don't forget, don't forget. Third, water is sometimes polluted, making it unsuitable for drinking, irrigation, crops, or fish bait. But where's the other one I want to show you? It was saying basic. Oh, yeah, second. The amount of water available can change wildly from year to year. And you wonder why the fire hydrants are broken and empty. You wonder why a man seeking help had his wife to go to the dollar store trying to save their home because the neighbor's house was on fire. This didn't have to be. Look at the date, November 4th, 2014. The madness continues. It's a lot going on in this country. We are pretty worried about the little thief, which I don't promote, knocking down and breaking in. See, while we're all worried about that and see the ones at the top, they got it. And while we're fighting each other on the racism and discrimination, and I don't like you, and all with the me too, and this right there, and the him too, and they didn't. While we're doing all of that, do you not see what's happening? Where did the money go? If one has not been built, I need somebody to tell me today, where the heck, and I'm not a Californian, where did the money go then? If what she said is true, where did the money go? Do you see what is happening? While we sitting up here boxing up and I'm mad at you and I don't like you and we're up here scratching trying to survive, all this stuff being passed, all this money, but it not one was built, then where did the money go? It was approved. Isn't the money set aside to do that? Wasn't it? I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, the money set aside to do that?
Voted on Proposition 1 to put billions toward building new reservoirs. Not one is complete 10 years later. Let's talk about.
Was there an announcement saying they didn't have the money? Here it said the state could sell 7.1 billion in additional generated obligation bonds, as well as redirect $425 million in unsold general obligation bonds that were previously approved by voters for research related to do what? To fund various water related programs. California been dropped the ball. And look what's happening to y'all in California. Been dropped the ball. The ball been dropped before Newsom based on this here, because it's showing Jerry Brown was the governor. When I Googled who was the governor in 2014, you sitting up here doing a slick back Newsom. It's time to get these people's lives on track. You're pretty good with your little slick back hair. How do you make a comeback from this? I don't see it. Anyway, gotta go. Let me know what you all think. This is unbelievable. Thanks for watching. Be safe. Wish you well. I wish you health, peace of mind, love, and prosperity. And thanks so much for supporting the channel. Even with some of the garbled videos get a little crazy and all, okay? Thanks so much. But this information we need to know. Do you see what's happening? You see what's... Something about this is not right. I don't see how these politicians even sleep at night. And I'm out.